Hello, folks. It has been a minute. Oh, crap. Is my. Yeah, okay. I have a really bad habit of starting to talk and then realize that I'm muted. Anyways, perfect way to come back, right, folks? All right. So it's been a minute. My name is Kat, for all those who may or may not have remembered slash forgot slash whatever. And I'm here to paint. Digitally paint. And I will answer questions, so on and so forth, and then just randomly talk about whatever happens to be on my mind for the day. Or read stories from a book that I'm usually drawing the images for. And this is usually how these things go. I hope that you all are doing well and have been well. And there we go. Sorry, my mother trucker, my lovely stylus slash tablet, is being evil as per usual. There we go. Anyways, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning. Did not yawn at all until I started talking. There's nothing to read here. Nothing to read into this. Anyways, so today I am drawing slash painting the Dunnock. It's this little birdie thing. By the way, I think this is my favorite picture that I've worked on so far. This is a part of the... Excuse me. Oh my goodness. For those who are uninitiated, this is part of the Bird Whisperer project. Each month, they do a... oh my goodness. Each month, they do... or they have a particular bird assigned to that month. And at the end of the month, my goodness, am I going to have to do a... This is going to be terrible. Okay. All right. I am so sorry. This is absolutely ridiculous. Clearly, it's been a hot minute since I have done any drawings. So much so that my tablet apparently stopped calibrating itself appropriately. Anyways, but they provide a high quality image like so, like what I have here. And you are supposed to go and create a painting off of it, which is really, really nice. You cannot use a painting or a photo of the bird, another photo of the bird. You can only use the photo that's provided. They have their reasons for this, I am sure. Seriously, I think this one is my favorite photo so far, though. I don't know why this is my favorite photo so far, but it is. Oh, what I am using to... Sorry, I usually go and tell everyone what software and stuff I'm using prior to all this. So, what I'm painting with, the program that I'm painting with, is the Sketchbook Pro. It's only 20 bucks, and you can use it on pretty much anything. Well, this is the Windows version of the Pro. And I think it's pretty good. I used the basic one, and have gotten really good results with that as well. I do recommend it if you are on a budget. Um, Highly recommend it if you are on a budget. You can get a lot of good mileage out of it. I know that may not seem possible, but it's true. Unless, of course, you have access to Procreate, at which point I highly recommend getting Procreate. I have never used it, but I have seen pretty much everyone I know create fantastic works that I am not going to lie, I am desperately jealous of. I am not a big fan of Apple because they are money grubbing. I'm sorry, Apple, if you want to give me free stuff, I'm not going to argue with you, and I will even be very, very nice from now on. Maybe. I still think that they're money grubbing along with Adobe. Yes, I use Adobe every day for my work, day work. And it has some really, really nice features. But it's still primarily money grubbing. You really don't need to go and spend that much. You do not need to go and sell a service for that much when you literally have everyone else. All you're doing is shooting yourselves in the foot. And your AI software sucks. I am sassy today. I don't know why. I'm just like, meh. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is absolutely terrible, and it's only terrible for one specific reason. And it's not because the image results are terrible. It is terrible. But no, it's terrible for one very, very specific reason. And that is because it is not ethically bound. It was not created ethically. I'll tell you this. If any artists out there, like professional artists or professional creatives out there, can pinpoint a very like specific AI company, or I don't want to say server, program, there we go, that was ethically done, I would be like, guys, use this. But there is no ethically sourced AI program out there. Except for maybe Grammarly, but hell, I don't know. I haven't ever used it. At least as far as imagery goes, there is no ethically sourced AI program out there. And you want to know how? Or how you can determine what's an ethically AI source? Is if they give artists credit to whatever it is. And I've talked about this before. In one of my previous vids. Ah. Nope. 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 Crud. Oh, that's what it is. It's like somewhere. Ah, come on. There we go. But anyways, okay, going back to what I was saying. The drawing program I'm using is the Sketchbook Pro. The tablet I'm using, and yes, I'm using a tablet, in case you missed the whole monitor thing. is a Huon 19, Canvas 19, I think. I think that's what this is. It's an older model. Very much older model. Well, I say very much older model. But it is an older model. So it's got some things with it, which is fine. I don't mind having an older piece of equipment. And I think that bothers a lot of, can bother a lot of people. Because they've got to have the newest, right? Right, you gotta have the newest. You know what? I'm really not happy with having that as the thing, so. That's the wrong button. There we go. Okay. Which one is this one? Is that? Crud. Yeah, watercolor. There we go. Sketchbook has a lot of good things for it, going for it, but there are just some things that it does not have that going for it. I'm sorry. Even though I like Sketchbook a lot, there's just some things that it does not have. But no, it for a budget program that you can literally use that ends up having like a lot of stuff and you don't have Procreate, this one is really, really good. So it is definitely one of those programs. For recording and doing all this stuff, I'm using the OBS, whichever version it is right now. And for my wonderful voice, I'm using half second. Onikuma K1B Pro. I'm not gonna lie. I want to look that up right now. I shouldn't. I really, really shouldn't because I'm painting, should be painting, trying to paint, trying to do this in, trying to do this in 1 hour, but c'est la vie. K1B Pro. Oh, wow. Yeah, this one's about $20 on eBay. It bounces between $20 and $60, so, you know. I don't think that they sell these anymore. Doesn't look like it. I mean, it's not bad. It's got some sound issues that I do not understand at all. So, you know, there's that. I'm going to turn that off. So, yeah. Yeah. Anyways. Now that I'm back to doing what I'm doing, and I messed up. Whoops. Here we go. I messed up just a little bit. I need a pencil to go and fix what I miss. And you are there. Ah! I'm gonna go back to you. So, anyways, yeah. Mostly, okay, so when it comes to my hardware, for the most part, the only thing that I have an issue with is all things that I can go and fix if I sat down to do so. Which, now that I think about it, as a person who has ADHD or um, has not been re-officially diagnosed with it, I've and I know that I've talked about this before, but as somebody who has been diagnosed with neurodivergency, let's go with, um, it can be difficult sometimes to stay within what is my designated area. Um, it also makes doing things like live streaming hard. Um, and it's not because I don't want to, it's because um I don't like doing it like that. Okay. Um so I don't know how much anyone knows about neurodivergency. I highly recommend if you are struggling with being neurodivergent, um first thing, the best thing you can do for yourself is to accept that you are neurodivergent. Um, the next thing that you can do is to either go and read up on it or just find resources for it. Not just accept it, but like understand that your brain is not at all like anyone else's. Not that any brain is like anyone else's, but because we are all shaped by our environments, and our environments, oh my god, changes so quickly. Like so quickly. Like seriously. When I was younger, um autism or Asperger's was what I was called or officially diagnosed as. And then that disappeared. ADHD or ADD was what ADHD was called. And then after that, it was like the reason why I have such trouble saying what I am is because one, I was a kid when I was diagnosed, so I didn't give two F's because it did abs. I was not only was I a kid, but I was a poor kid who had very poor social skills, and it didn't do me any good being labeled like that. And you know, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. Um, but it didn't do me any good with the social skills. It didn't do me any good, you know, recognizing that I had this thing, because I was never going to get the help for it. Um, and, you know, I think that's where a lot of people are at, is that, you know, currently so much stuff has changed since a lot of us were really, really young. And I think that having that conversation and accepting that you are different and that you can't do it alone, and you sure as F can't do it without guidance of some sort, um, certainly doesn't help. So, okay, so why is it that I keep deleting stuff and then going and painting it over, or undoing stuff and going and painting it over? Well, right now I'm using a watercolor brush, and watercolor brushes act like you have, um, like you're just adding. Imagine clear plastic bags that have different colors, right? Um, like say you've got a green plastic bag, and then you've got like some other plastic bag over the top of that, and yellow, and another blue, and so on and so forth. Well, what happens is that the more of those plastic layers go over it, the more it changes. Same thing's happening here, but it's a much stronger effect. And because of that, it is um, because it's a much stronger effect. Uh, it, Anytime I lift up my pencil, or my pen, it applies that, essentially starts that effect over. So what I am doing is adding layers and layers and layers of a single color. This is called underpainting. It is actually how the old masters used to paint. They would use burnt sienna usually. I prefer using a colder gray versus a warmer gray, and burnt sienna isn't really a gray. It's like a really warm yellowy brown. Um, so it but it creates a really nice like glowy effect once you get that all sorted. Once you've started applying color, it can give a really, really nice glowing effect. It's why some paintings look like they're translucent and why other paintings don't. Oops. Um, so what I am doing is applying this technique with this time around, is essentially what's going on. While I still am wanting to go and do... it's fine. While I'm still wanting to go and do the 1 hour painting, let's just say that last week I sat down and thought about some things about how I wanted to proceed with my... I mean, with all... with my channel and how I want to proceed with my work. You know, the 1 hour sessions is great and everything, but I wasn't having as much fun with it as I had hoped I would. And it wasn't as... I was getting what I needed out of it, kind of. but I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it. I have no idea if that makes sense. You can message me and be like, this makes no sense. Please explain further. But if it does, thank you. I appreciate it. I am currently using a far too small nib for what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm going to call it, and I'm going to bump this up some more. There we go. It's not much bigger, but it'll be a little bit faster. You were already halfway done. Yeah. And just because I'm almost halfway done with something doesn't necessarily mean that's the best way to do it. Besides, being halfway done with a bomb wouldn't do any good, now would it? Don't want to start it, or rather you'd prefer to have it completely disassembled depending on what you're doing with said item. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get docked or anything, or if somebody's going to be like, oh my god, she used the B word! Especially in light of tomorrow. Oh, oops. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know how many of you who watch this were around then. But let me tell you, we may joke about it now, but oh my god, that was some intense stuff there. That was some very, very intense stuff. Like, I was a youngin' when that happened. And a lot of things changed when that happened. It was intense. Oh my god, I just had thoughts. That's not as bad as that sounds. No, I regret doing that. F. I'm gonna have to do it all over again. No, it'll be fine. Maybe. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Maybe if I say it enough times, it'll be fine. I will also say this, going from Adobe to not Adobe stuff is really, really hard on my brain. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's so true. Because Adobe, or not Adobe, Apple, going from Apple to not Apple is a lot harder than it seems. Sounds. It's way harder than it sounds. Yeah, so at work, I work off of Macs, and I have been working off of Adobe. And we all know my feelings towards Adobe, so, you know. I don't hate Adobe because they don't make a good product. They make an excellent product. They are just really, really greedy about it. And I will 100% like go to say that I personally really, 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 really like their InDesign, which is, if you don't know what it does, is that it's really good for book publishing. Because that's exactly what it was made for. It was made to go and publish books, which is, you know, what a lot of people read out of, you know, things like that. But the only bad part with Adobe is that they knew that they had a very, very good product. I'm not saying that they don't, but they knew that they had a good product. And unfortunately, they mistakenly believed that they had the market on stuff. And the thing is that they didn't. Luckily, there are laws preventing a monopoly. They're not very good laws preventing it. You might go and check out the giant scary merger that Disney did. Not saying that I would not work for Disney if I got the chance. I would totally work for Disney. 'Cause I like money. And I like having my bills paid. But Disney is trying to not so subtly buy HBO if they haven't already. And yeah. I don't see how they can do that and it not end up being a monopoly, because legitimately was fairly certain that HBO and Warner Brothers were like, okay, this is gonna sound really bad, like in bed together. Not like in a bad way, just, they were working on stuff together. And HBO had a lot of their stuff, or had a lot of Warner Brothers stuff. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think HBO still has a lot of their stuff. So it bothers me a lot that that Disney and HBO have that kind of grouping together. It just makes me very, very cautious and very, very concerned. In an earlier video, I'm sure I talked all about my conspiracy theories. I have a lot of them. Because, yeah. Honestly, I feel like conspiracy theories are an American pastime. Not even joking at this point. It's kind of scary how much we're all just like, oh yeah, no, this is a thing that nobody cares about, and we're just like, whatever, it's fine. We're gonna make the eye as dark as we want it to be. There we go. Maybe I want that darker. No, let's leave it for now. Alright. I've been doing that voice for a little while now. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Come on. That's the wrong button. So what have you guys been doing? You can go and comment. And I would love to know. Because, you know what? It's boring to talk about myself all the damn time, even though I've been doing it a lot. But that's okay. Don't really like silence whenever I'm doing stuff like this. It makes conventions be really, really weird. Because I get to talk to people, but then I'm like, hey, how you doing? No, I don't want to do my art in front of you, but I'm going to. Tell me about your life. Yeah. Conventions are real weird for me. Um, bugger. Oh my goodness. I keep doing that. I will definitely say that even though I'm trying to be healthier, I have gotten so sleepy recently. I don't know why. Could be because my iron intake. It could just be because I'm not eating as healthy as I was when my roommate was living with me. That was the greatest thing ever. And I am so sad that it's gone. No, we were not in a relationship before anyone asks. We were legitimately roommates. A lot of people have made assumptions, and it's like, no, bro, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. I mean, it is a thing, just not for us. But, um, yeah. If you have a good roommate, you know, somebody who helps you with just all the adulting that you have to do, be as be extremely thankful for them. And by the way, when I say helping, I do actually mean helping, not just doing all your chores for you. Like if they do it every now and again, that's okay. But when they have to do everything for you, that's not okay, bro. You are taking full on advantage and there's no reason for it. You're a grown ass person. I am also possibly being hypocritical here, but and I'm trying not to be. Towards the end of when we were living together, um my roommate ended up taking on a lot of the chores until like the last 2 weeks because they were like, yeah, I'm gonna see if you're gonna fail. I'm just like, thanks, bro. Mind you, I was working like 80 hours a week that last month. It was something like that. I don't even remember that month, like most of that. And I barely remember the month after that because I was working like 2, 3 jobs at that time. And I was just like, okay, I have a new like full-time job, folks. I am finishing up these. They're all like, but we need you. And it was a really busy time, and I have absolutely no boundaries whatsoever. And My goddess of a roommate literally like took on all the chores. I was literally coming home and falling asleep. Maybe I'd take a shower, maybe not. Maybe I would go and eat something. I would usually just snack on stuff. On Sundays when we'd clean, that was our agreed upon day to clean. I would come in and be like, okay, what do I need to clean? And my roommate, mostly out of, I don't want to sit here in a dirty ass house, would be like, I've already gotten everything cleaned up. Don't worry about it. I'd be like, you're a saint. And I would thank them so, so much. Believe me, I'm sure that there were days where I just had like tears in my eyes because I was just like, you're so great. And yeah, my roommate was extremely um like not a fan of emotional displays. I pushed that so hard on them and it wasn't even intentional. I kind of felt bad for them. But to be fair, at the time, I was just not in a good place and they were just like, "Here, I'm going to do these things. Just leave me alone to do them." I'd just be like, "Yes, ma'am." Ah, I miss those days. But we still hang out outside of stuff and they tease me. They tease me a lot. They're like, "You were such a bad housekeeper." I'm like, "Thanks. Thanks. It's barely improved." I am a terrible housekeeper. Absolutely terrible. Though, I've learned the great rule to housekeeping. If you don't want to clean it up, have less stuff. Of course, I can't say anything because my studio, although it is clean, it still has a bunch of crap in it. So when my roommate moved out, I am very lucky that I'm able to live in a two-bedroom apartment. And um, when my roommate moved out, I moved my bed into her room, and so my bedroom became a studio. And I may have mentioned this before, but I'll tell you this. I was not quite like I knew I had a bunch of art supplies. I did not realize that functionally my bedroom was a studio. Like literally, I think I only moved in one piece of furniture and moved out two pieces of furniture. Um, and I will be changing up my bookcase, but I'm going to be moving in a couple of other bookcases. So, yeah, functionally, my bedroom was a studio that I just happened to sleep in. And my actual bedroom now literally has a bed and a single bookshelf. It will have the other bookshelf once I get the other bookshelves. Because functionally, let's see, one, two, three of my bookshelves, three and a half. Yeah. Three and a half of my bookshelves are full of art stuff. One, two, three, four, five, six. Literally half of my bookshelves is no, a majority of my bookshelves is all like art supplies slash art related books that I use. Maybe not on a daily basis, but on enough of a basis that I'm just like, yeah, so I don't really actually have bookshelves. I don't have stuff and all my other surfaces in my studio are just full of art supplies. Yeah, it's just all full of art supplies. I didn't have a bedroom. I just had a studio that had a bed in it. I mentioned this to my roommate when she left, and she's like, "Yeah," and it's like, "You knew? You knew?" If I so I don't know how many of you guys all watched or watch My Hero Academia, but effectively I'm like Deku. Um, not in the like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and like work out and absolutely kill myself with all that stuff. No, I will literally for I will cry at the drop of a hat. It's so bad. I will cry at the drop of a hat. I will effectively just be like, "Oh my god." I um yeah. Yeah, it's bad. Not like bad, but yeah. Um it was it was so I shouldn't laugh. I really shouldn't laugh. Luckily most of our friends took their cues from Danny or from my roommate. And I'm gonna have to erase that later. Fuck. But most of our friends took their cues from my roommate, and they uh they just kind of let me go off on my own a little bit and just be like, okay, okay, whatever. It's all good though. It's all good. They're just like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, why are you crying? I'm fine, I said. Leave me alone. Okay. That is effectively how those conversations went. Oh, no. Sorry, I shouldn't yawn. I'm a very silly human. Oh well, it's fine. It's all good, folks. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. There we go. Um, but that is not to say that I did not feel extremely embarrassed whenever I did that stuff. And a lot of that came down to just not reading social cues. If any of my friends um are watching, which I know that some of you are, and you're just like, did she mean it like this? Maybe, probably not. If it came off as harsh, unless I'm very, very explicit, I don't actually mean anything in a harsh way. Believe I know that this is gonna sound really, really bad, but unless I am like straight up, I don't like you, I don't I I don't know. If I said something that was hurtful, I am sorry. If I said something um that came across really, really asinine, I'm sorry. I legitimately don't read social cues, and it's not for the lack of trying. It's one of those things that you try to learn, and a lot of it is just miscommunication, and I'm not excusing it. By no means am I excusing anything that I've done. Like there are so many different things that I missed and didn't understand, and some of it is my own feelings towards things, some of it is how other people reacted. Um and it was just yeah. Yeah. I recognize I am not the best person out there. 100% know this. But all I can do is just be like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be X, Y, and Z. And yeah, the earlier you accept the whole neurodivergency thing and actually get help for it, the better off you're going to end up being, and way less apologies you're going to have to. Well, you don't have to make apologies. You can choose to be an ass after that, though. You can be an unintentional ass, or you can choose not to be an ass. And, that's just one of those things. Oh yeah, by the way, if anyone here wants to go and message uh if anyone okay, let me start at the beginning. If anyone takes offense to my language or my statements or whatever, and I'm doing like something for the Bird Whisperer project, I'm gonna say this. My own personal opinions are my own. It is not theirs, and I don't think that they endorse them. So, yeah. Also, they don't pay me for this, so there's no money here, bro. I be broke, and yeah. Yeah, most of the tools I have are either cheap or pre-owned. Or they're cheap and pre-owned. And I just happen to get lucky. Honestly, so as you guys know, on Saturdays I live stream gameplay. Well, here's the thing, is that I don't, unless I'm paying like $15 altogether, my literal goal is not to pay more than $15 for a single game. I legitimately do not like to spend money on that kind of stuff. Now, part of it could be because of growing up broke. Part of it could just be that I find it a challenge. And let me tell you, that's one of those things that that's one of those things that actually I did this wrong. Makes things interesting because I make it a challenge for me not to go and buy a game until it is for sale at $15. Now, some games will never be that way. Legend of Zelda is one of those. Unless I end up getting a really, really good deal on it. Which, in a few cases, I have gotten an excellent deal on that. But for the most part, I don't pay $15. I don't pay more than $15 for a game. Um, and very, very rarely have games been bought for me. I have, let's see, one, Dishonored 2, Fallout 4, Oblivion, Skyrim. I have 5 games out of literal hundreds that, or Oh shit. At least 100. I have 5 games out of at least 100 that that were bought for me. Maybe 6 games. I think maybe 6 games. But I don't like spend I don't spend money on video games. More than $15 on video games. Now, I will if it's a part of a package, because you're not just spending $15 on a single game. Like I will spend money on Humble Bundle and not have a problem with it because of 2 reasons. One, I'm not buying just one game. And 2, it goes to a good cause. But for the most part, it is definitely a I don't buy that kind of stuff. So, I know it sounds so silly. But it's a true thing. Let's see. Am I happy where this is at? Yeah, let's call it good for right now. Okie dokie. So I have my underpainting done. That was an hour. Woot! You know what? I am not happy with that. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, now I'm happy with this. Much better. Okay. So, anyways, all right, last bit of things. Going back to what I was saying about the whole neurodivergency, I highly recommend, if you are starting to accept or even if you're curious as to things that can help manage time, manage this, that, and the other, I highly recommend a good a resource called How to ADHD. That was where I started getting a lot of help. Not directly, but by watching the videos, I sat there and was like, oh yeah, this is the thing I have issues with. And then I would be like, okay, I can apply this. And it's a struggle every day. I'm working on getting it managed. Uh, redo. Okay. But I'm working on getting it managed. And it's a thing. Okie dokie, folks. That is it for tonight. I will catch up with you Tuesday. Thursday. I'm sorry. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'll catch up with you guys next week. Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, I will catch up with you guys later. And I hope that you guys all have a good one and enjoy today's session, even though I talked about a lot of random stuff. Alright, I'll talk with you guys later. You all have a good one and be safe out there, folks. Where's my button? There's my button. Bye! See you next time!